The council chamber floated in the darkness of space like a massive jewel. Inside, thousands of alien species gathered under lights that shifted through colors human eyes could barely see. Captain Dae-hyun stood beside Ambassador Ji-woo, his military uniform feeling too tight around his chest. His hands stayed locked behind his back, fingers digging into his palms. Ji-woo stepped forward to the speaking platform. The chamber fell silent, but not the respectful kind. It was the silence of predators watching prey stumble into a trap. "Honored members of the Galactic Council," Ji-woo began, her voice steady despite the tremor Dae-hyun could see in her shoulders. "I come before you today to invoke Article 7 of the Mutual Defense Treaty. Our colony world New Haven is under attack by the Ravager Horde. 3 million human lives hang in the balance. We formally request immediate military assistance." The first laugh came from somewhere in the upper galleries. Then another. Within seconds, the chamber echoed with the sounds of alien amusement. Councillor Vexthar rose from his seat, his reptilian body gleaming under the lights. His mouth split into what might have been a smile, showing rows of crystalline teeth. "Military assistance? For humans?" His translator made his voice sound like grinding rocks. "Perhaps you should have bred stronger offspring, Ambassador. The galaxy has no use for species that cannot protect their own children." More laughter. Ji-woo's face went pale, but she pressed on. "The treaty clearly states—" "The treaty," interrupted High Arbiter Quell, the ancient crystalline being who led the council, "requires adequate tribute payments. Earth's contributions barely cover administrative costs. You expect us to spend millions on military operations for a species that gives us nothing of value?" Dae-hyun felt something cold settle in his stomach. His sister lived on New Haven. His niece had just turned 6 years old. He had promised to visit after this diplomatic mission ended. Ji-woo tried again, desperation creeping into her voice. "We have sent all the data. The Ravagers are slaughtering civilians. They're taking prisoners as slaves. Please, we only need—" "Emotional weakness," Vexthar said, waving one clawed hand dismissively. "This is why tributary species remain tributary. You feel too much. You care too much. These things make you vulnerable." A delegate from the insectoid krill species clicked its mandibles together in what their culture considered laughter. "Perhaps the humans should try begging harder. Their voices make amusing sounds when they plead." The chamber erupted in cruel merriment. Dae-hyun watched aliens of 100 different species mock his people's suffering. Some mimicked crying sounds. Others made exaggerated gestures of despair. High Arbiter Quell raised one crystalline appendage and the chamber quieted. "The Galactic Council has heard Earth's petition. Our response is as follows. We offer our thoughts and sympathy for your loss. However, military intervention is not warranted at this time. Earth should consider this a learning opportunity about the importance of adequate defensive preparations." "Learning opportunity?" Ji-woo's voice cracked. "Our people are dying right now. Children are dying. How can you—" "This session is concluded," Quell announced. "Next matter of business." Just like that, Earth's plea was dismissed. The council moved on to discuss trade tariffs on some mineral Dae-hyun had never heard of. Ji-woo stood frozen at the speaking platform, her hands shaking. A communication officer rushed up to Dae-hyun, holding a data pad. The young man's face told Dae-hyun everything before he saw the screen. "Captain, we just lost contact with New Haven. Last transmission showed Ravager forces in the main settlement. They were burning everything." Dae-hyun took the pad with numb fingers. The final images showed his sister's neighborhood. Fires, bodies in the streets, ships landing to collect survivors for the slave markets. He looked up at the council delegates, now chatting amongst themselves about ordinary matters. They were laughing again, but about something else now. New Haven's destruction already forgotten. Ji-woo walked back to him on unsteady legs. Tears ran down her face. "They won't help us. They were never going to help us." "I know," Dae-hyun said quietly. His voice sounded strange to his own ears, too calm, too cold. "What do we do now?" Dae-hyun pulled out his personal communication device, one with encryption the council didn't know humans possessed. He typed a short message. "They will not help us. Proceed with Protocol Omega." He sent it directly to Admiral Taemin back on Earth. The response came within seconds. "Understood. Come home, it's time." Ji-woo saw the exchange. "What's Protocol Omega?" "Something we hoped we'd never need," Dae-hyun replied. He looked back at the council chamber, at the aliens who had laughed at human suffering. Ambassador, how many humans died on New Haven? Early estimates, Jiwoo checked her own data pad, her hands still trembling. 2.3 million confirmed dead. 700,000 captured by the Ravagers. Daehyun nodded slowly. He committed those numbers to memory. 2,300,000 dead, 700,000 enslaved. Because the council found human desperation amusing. We need to leave, he said. Now. They walked out of the council chamber together. Behind them, the aliens continued their business as if nothing important had happened. As if 3 million human lives meant nothing at all. On the shuttle back to their ship, Jiwoo finally broke down completely. She buried her face in her hands and sobbed. Daehyun put a hand on her shoulder but said nothing. Words felt useless now. When they reached the Terran Hope, Daehyun went straight to the bridge. Set course for Earth, maximum speed. Sir, we're scheduled to remain for another week of diplomatic. I said maximum speed. We're done here. The helmsman saw something in his captain's face and simply nodded. Yes, sir. As their ship pulled away from Velroni's prime, Daehyun stood at the viewing port and watched the council station shrink into the distance. His reflection in the glass showed a man he barely recognized. Something had changed in his eyes. His communication device buzzed. A message from Admiral Taemin. The fleet is ready. The soldiers are ready. We've been ready for 15 years. When you get home, the council will learn what it means to make humanity bleed. Daehyun typed back one word. Good. He thought about his sister. About his niece who loved drawing pictures of stars. About 2 million other humans who died while the galaxy laughed. The council thought humans were weak because they felt emotions. They thought compassion was a flaw. They were about to learn how wrong they were, because humans didn't just love fiercely. They remembered fiercely too. And they never ever forgot. The underground facility stretched for miles beneath Seoul. Most of Earth's population didn't know it existed. Captain Daehyun walked through corridors carved from solid rock, following Admiral Taemin deeper into the mountain. Ambassador Jiwoo walked beside him, still looking lost after what happened at the council. They entered a conference room where Earth's military leadership waited. General Kyung-soo stood by a wall display. Dr. Hana sat at the table, her fingers drumming nervously. A dozen other officers filled the remaining seats. Admiral Taemin gestured for everyone to sit. He was an older man with gray hair and eyes that missed nothing. The council refused to help. New Haven has fallen. It's time to stop pretending. Pretending? Jiwoo asked. Taemin pressed a button and the wall displays lit up with images. Ships, weapons, soldiers in armor humans had never seen before. When Earth joined the Galactic Council 15 years ago, they made us sign treaties. We could only have small defensive forces. We had to buy all our technology from Council-approved sources. They wanted us weak and dependent. He pulled up more images. But humans have a long history of preparing for the worst. We smiled, we paid our tributes. We played the role of grateful junior members. And while we did that, we built something the Council never expected. General Kyung-soo took over the briefing. He was a large man with scars on his hands. Project Hidden Sword. 200 warships built in secret facilities throughout the asteroid belt. Not one of them uses Council technology. We started from scratch, using human engineering principles. The displays showed sleek vessels bristling with weapons. They looked nothing like the rounded, elegant Council ships. These were sharp angles and brutal efficiency. Council species rely on energy shields and plasma weapons. Kyung-soo continued. We went a different direction. Kinetic weapons, railguns, missiles with nuclear warheads. Old Earth technology adapted for space warfare. Things they stopped using because they thought they found better ways. You've been building a war fleet in secret for 15 years? Jiwoo stared at the Admiral. That violates every treaty Earth signed. Yes, Taemin said simply. And I'd do it again. The Council never intended to honor their end of those treaties. We just watched them prove it. Dr. Hana stood up, activating another display. She was younger than most in the room, with tired eyes behind her glasses. Project Hidden Sword was just the ships. My team worked on something else. We call it the Ghost Program. The screen showed men and women in black armor. They moved through an obstacle course so fast they blurred. One jumped 3 times human height. Another punched through a steel door. Enhanced soldiers, Hana explained. Genetic modifications. Cybernetic implants. Neural interfaces. We took volunteers and made them into something the galaxy has never seen. Faster than any known species, stronger, able to process information and react in milliseconds. You turned people into weapons, Jiwoo said quietly. Yes. Hana's voice was heavy. I've had nightmares about it for years, but after seeing what happened to New Haven, after watching the council laugh at our dead, she trailed off. Admiral Taemin pulled up casualty reports from New Haven. Names scrolled past too fast to read. 2,300,000 dead, 700,000 enslaved. The council called it a learning opportunity. Silence filled the room. How many ghost soldiers do we have? Taehyun asked. 100 fully operational, Hana replied. Another 300 in training. And the ships? 200 capital ships, General Kyung-soo said. Plus 500 smaller craft. Fighters, bombers, troop transports, all hidden in the belt, ready to launch on your order, Admiral. Taemin looked around the table. Earth Security Council has already voted. We're withdrawing from the Galactic Council effective immediately. But before we do that, we're going to send a message. What kind of message? Jiwoo asked, though her voice suggested she already knew. The Ravager Horde operates from a base in the Crimson Nebula. No government claims it. Council forces ignore it because the Ravagers only attack weak species, small species the Council doesn't care about. Taemin's voice was cold as ice. We're going to destroy it. Every ship, every pirate, every single creature that participated in the New Haven massacre. That's thousands of targets, someone pointed out. Good, Daehyun said. Everyone turned to look at him. The Council needs to understand what they unleashed. They laughed when we cried. They mocked when we begged. Now they'll watch while we show them what human fury looks like. General Kyung-soo smiled grimly. Captain Daehyun, how would you like to lead the first strike force? I'd consider it an honor. Dr. Hana activated another display, this one showing personnel files. These are my ghost soldiers. The best of the best. Special operations experience. Enhanced beyond human limits. Each one volunteered knowing they might not live long. The modifications, they take a toll. One face stood out to Daehyun, a young woman named Soo-jin. Her file listed 10 years in military service, multiple commendations, and more confirmed kills than seemed possible for someone her age. She'll be your point operator, Hana said, noticing his attention. Don't let her size fool you. She's taken down targets twice her weight in full armor. Admiral Taemin stood. Here's what happens next. Captain Daehyun will take 20 stealth ships to Crimson Nebula. Ghost teams will infiltrate and neutralize the Ravager leadership. Once we've dealt with them, we're going back to Velroni's Prime. Back to the Council? Jiwoo looked shocked. Oh yes, Taemin said with a cold smile. We're going to have a very different conversation this time. One where we don't beg. One where we don't ask for permission. We're going to look the Council in the eyes and tell them exactly what humanity thinks of them. They'll call it an act of war, Jiwoo warned. Let them. The Admiral's voice could have frozen fire. Earth has spent 15 years preparing for this. We hoped we'd never need it. We wanted to believe in cooperation and mutual respect. The Council taught us that was foolish, so now they'll learn what happens when you push humans too far. General Kyung-soo pulled up tactical maps. The strike on Crimson Nebula launches in 6 hours. Crews are already boarding. Ghost teams are running final equipment checks. Daehyun studied the maps. The Ravager base was massive, built into an asteroid. Thousands of pirates lived there. It would be a bloodbath. He thought about his sister again, about his niece, about every human who died because the Council couldn't be bothered to help. 6 hours, he repeated. We'll be ready. As the meeting ended and officers filed out, Jiwoo caught Daehyun's arm. Do you really think this is the right path? Violence will only breed more violence. Daehyun met her eyes. They already chose violence, Ambassador. They chose it when they laughed at our pain. We're just responding in a language they'll understand. And if Earth becomes the monster we're fighting against, then we'll deal with that problem when we come to it, Daehyun said. But right now, the only thing that matters is making sure no one ever laughs at human suffering again. He walked away to prepare for the mission, leaving Jiwoo standing alone in the empty corridor, wondering if humanity was making a terrible mistake or finally standing up for itself. In 6 hours, the galaxy would start learning the answer. The stealth ships slid through space like shadows. Soo-jin sat in the drop pod with her ghost team, checking her weapons for the 3rd time. Around her, 9 other soldiers did the same. Nobody spoke. There was nothing left to say. Through the pod's small window, she could see the Crimson Nebula. Red gases swirled around a massive asteroid that housed the Ravager base. Thousands of pirates lived there, celebrating their raids and counting their stolen goods. They felt safe here. The Council never bothered them. Captain Daehyun's voice came through her helmet. Ghost teams, this is retribution. We're 30 seconds from launch position. Rules of engagement are simple. No survivors. Sujin felt the familiar cold settle over her. The enhancements in her body activated. Her heart rate slowed. Her vision sharpened. Her muscles flooded with chemicals that made her faster and stronger than any normal human. This was what Dr. Hana's program created. Living weapons, 10 seconds, Daehyun counted down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. The pod shot from the ship with brutal force. Sujin barely felt it. Her enhanced body absorbed the acceleration. Through the window, she saw 19 other pods streaking toward the asteroid, each one carrying a ghost team. They hit the outer hull with a grinding crash. Cutting lasers activated automatically, burning through metal. Within seconds, the pod's front hatch blew open. Sujin was first through, her rifle up and ready. She found herself in a cargo bay. 3 Ravagers stood near some crates, their forearms holding weapons. They turned toward the noise of the breach. They were too slow. Sujin's enhanced reflexes let her perceive time differently. The Ravagers seemed to move through water. She fired 3 times. 3 bodies hit the floor before they could even aim. Her team poured through behind her. Hyun-woo, their communications specialist, immediately plugged into a wall terminal. I'm in their network. Uploading the virus now. Every camera in this place is about to belong to us. Good, Sujin said. Find me the human prisoners. Got them. Deck 7, Eastern Section. Looks like... Oh no. Hyun-woo's voice went quiet. What? Some of them are already dead. The Ravagers were using them for entertainment. Sujin felt rage burn through the cold. Mark the route. We're moving. They ran through corridors carved from rock, their boots silent despite their speed. The enhancements let them move faster than most species could track. When they encountered Ravagers, it was over before the pirates understood what was happening. A group of 6 Ravagers sat around a table, laughing. They wore jewelry stolen from New Haven. One had a child's necklace wrapped around his thick wrist. Sujin recognized the style. Her sister used to make ones just like it. She emptied her entire magazine into them. The table exploded in a shower of blood and broken bodies. Reloading, she said calmly, ejecting the spent magazine. Through her helmet, she heard reports from other ghost teams. They were moving through the station like death itself. The Ravagers outnumbered them 100 to 1, but it didn't matter. The pirates had never faced anything like enhanced human soldiers. This is Ghost Team 3, a voice reported. We found their trophy room. They kept pieces, human pieces, preserved like hunting trophies. Burn it, Captain Daehyun ordered. Burn all of it. Sujin's team reached the prisoner section. The door was locked, but Hyun-woo had the codes now. It slid open to reveal a nightmare. Humans in cages. Some dead, some wishing they were. A few children huddled in the corner, their eyes empty of hope. Secure the room, Sujin ordered. Her team spread out, covering the entrances. She moved to the nearest cage and tore the door off its hinges with her enhanced strength. You're safe now. We're from Earth. We came for you. One woman looked at her with hollow eyes. They said no one would come. They said Earth didn't care. Earth cares, Sujin said, her voice rough. And Earth remembers. They evacuated the prisoners while fighting continued through the station. Explosions rocked the corridors. The Ravagers had finally organized a defense, but it was too late. The ghost teams had already captured critical systems. Hyun-woo broadcast footage of the assault across the galaxy. Every species with a communication array could watch. He made sure the message was clear. Humanity would not beg anymore. Humanity would not wait for help. Humanity would take justice for itself. Captain Daehyun descended to the station in a drop shuttle. Sujin met him near the command center. The prisoners are secured. We found about 200 alive. There were 5 times that many when the raid started. Daehyun's jaw tightened. And Warlord Grath? Barricaded in his command center. He's broadcasting threats, saying the Council will destroy Earth for this. The Council can try. Daehyun checked his weapon. Is the way clear?
For you?
Yes, sir. They approached the command center together. The door was reinforced metal designed to withstand ship weapons. Daehyun simply placed a breaching charge and stepped back. The explosion tore through the door. Smoke poured out. Through it came Warlord Grath, the massive leader of the Ravager horde. He stood nearly 3 meters tall with 4 powerful arms ending in claws that could tear through metal. One human? Grath laughed, his voice like grinding stones. You dare challenge me alone? I dare, Daehyun said simply. Grath charged. His size and strength were overwhelming. One swipe of his claws sent Daehyun crashing into a wall. The captain felt ribs crack. But Daehyun had fought in the border wars before joining the diplomatic service. He knew pain. He knew how to turn disadvantage into advantage. When Grath charged again, Daehyun didn't dodge. He dropped low and fired his pistol point blank into the warlord's knee. The joint exploded. Grath stumbled. Daehyun rolled aside, came up and fired again. And again. Targeting joints, weak points, anywhere his smaller weapon could do damage. Grath roared and grabbed him with 2 arms. The warlord's strength was terrifying. Daehyun felt his shoulder dislocate. His vision went red with pain, but his free hand reached the emergency airlock control. Grath saw it too late. The outer airlock blew open. Explosive decompression pulled everything toward the void. Grath's grip loosened just enough. Daehyun magnetized his boots to the floor while the warlord was sucked toward space. Grath caught the airlock frame with one hand. Holding on desperately, Daehyun walked to him, each step painful. My sister lived on New Haven, Daehyun said quietly. She had a daughter, 6 years old. She loved to draw pictures of stars. He raised his boot and stomped on Grath's fingers. This is for her. Grath fell into the void. His scream cut off as vacuum took him. Daehyun sealed the airlock and collapsed against the wall, breathing hard. Soojin rushed in to help him. The station is secure, she reported. All prisoners evacuated. All Ravagers neutralized. All of them? Every single one, sir. Not one ship escaped. Daehyun nodded. Good. Send a message to Admiral Taemin. Tell him the Crimson Nebula is ours. Tell him we're ready for Phase 2. What's Phase 2? Daehyun smiled despite the pain. We're going to visit the Council. And this time, we're not asking for anything. Hours later, the human fleet regrouped. Every Ravager was dead. The base was rubble. The freed prisoners were on medical ships being treated. Across the galaxy, billions watched the footage. The Council species saw humans move through the station like avenging spirits. They saw the ferocity, the determination, the controlled violence. Most importantly, they saw that humanity had stopped asking permission to defend itself. Admiral Taemin reviewed the reports from his command ship. Every objective achieved. Casualties were minimal on the human side. The Ravager horde no longer existed. He opened a channel to his fleet. All ships set course for Velroni's Prime. It's time the Council learned what it means to make humanity bleed. The fleet turned as one, 200 warships that shouldn't exist, carrying soldiers that Council treaties forbade, heading toward the heart of galactic power. The galaxy held its breath. The Council chamber erupted in chaos when human ships appeared in orbit. 200 warships surrounded Velroni's Prime like predators circling prey. Every sensor on the planet screamed warnings. Every defense system activated automatically. High Arbiter Quell's crystalline body flashed with angry red light. This is an act of war. How dare Earth bring weapons to the Council world? Admiral Taemin walked into the chamber like he owned it. His military uniform displayed medals the Council had never seen before. Behind him came Ambassador Jiwoo, Captain Daehyun with his arm in a sling, and a squad of ghost soldiers in full armor. The Council delegates shrank back from the enhanced humans. Counselor Vexthar hissed from his seat. You violate every treaty Earth signed. You will be destroyed for this. Destroy us? Taemin's voice was calm, almost pleasant. With what? Your defense fleet is powering weapons right now, isn't it? Young Mi, what's the status? His tactical officer's voice came through his communicator. Their fleet is positioning for attack, Admiral. 63 capital ships, 200 support vessels. They outnumber us 3 to 1. And how long would it take us to destroy them? Estimated 12 minutes, sir. Their ships are big and slow. Ours are built for war. Shocked silence filled the chamber. Taemin smiled. But we're not here to fight. Not yet, we're here to talk, like civilized species should. Talk? High Arbiter Quell's voice was ice. After you slaughtered thousands in the Crimson Nebula? After you violated Sovereign Council space? Slaughtered, Taemin repeated. Interesting word choice. He pulled out a data pad. Let me show you something. The chamber's displays activated. Footage played. The council session where Earth begged for help. Every mocking laugh, every cruel joke, Vexthar's comment about breeding stronger children, Quell's dismissal of 3 million human lives as a learning opportunity. The delegates watched themselves in silence. Then new footage. New Haven burning, bodies in the streets, children running from ships. The final transmission of a mother begging anyone to help her daughter. 2,300,000 dead, Taman said. 700,000 enslaved. Because the council found our pain amusing. More footage. The assault on Crimson Nebula. Ghost teams moving through the station. The trophy room where Ravagers kept human remains as decorations. The cages where prisoners waited to die. Every council species has access to intelligence reports. Taman continued. You all knew the Ravager base existed. You knew they raided minor species. You did nothing because it kept us weak and dependent. That is a lie. Vexthar stood, his tail lashing. The council cannot monitor every criminal. Can't you? Ambassador Jiwoo stepped forward, holding her own data pad. Because we monitored you. For 15 years, Earth has been listening to council communications. We had to because we didn't trust you. And we found something interesting. She activated a new display. Encrypted messages, financial records, ship manifests. 6 council species have been funding pirate operations, Jiwoo said, including the Ravager Horde. You pay them to attack minor species. You keep us scared, keep us weak, so we stay dependent on your protection. Protection you never actually provide. Lies, Quell said, but his light flickered uncertainly. Here's proof. Jiwoo pulled up more documents. Transfers from the Draxian Empire to Ravager accounts. Equipment shipments approved by council military oversight. Communication logs showing Councillor Vexthar personally coordinating with Warlord Grath. Vexthar's scales turned pale. This is fabricated, is it? Taman looked around the chamber. Then you won't mind if we share all this data with the tributary species. Let them see how their protectors really operate. Panic spread through the council delegates. The tributary species made up 70% of the galaxy's population. If they learned the truth, if they rebelled together. What do you want? Quell finally asked. Want? Taman laughed, a harsh sound. We don't want anything from you anymore. We're done begging. Earth is formally withdrawing from the Galactic Council. Effective immediately, humanity will make its own decisions. You cannot survive without council support, Vexithar protested. Can't we? Our technology exceeds yours in multiple areas. We built 200 warships in secret. We enhanced our soldiers beyond natural limits. We accomplished all this while paying tribute and following your rules. Taman's voice dropped to something dangerous. Imagine what we'll do now that we're free. Captain Daehyun stepped forward despite his injuries. Earth is offering a new alliance. A real one. Any species tired of council exploitation can join the Terran Coalition. We'll share technology. We'll provide real protection. And we'll treat our allies as equals. This is madness, Quell said. The council has maintained order for 10,000 years. Order? Jiwoo's voice rang out. You call this order? You let pirates attack peaceful colonies. You mock species that come begging for help. You deliberately keep entire civilizations weak so they need you. That's not order. That's tyranny. A delegate from the Vellani species rose slowly. Councillor Rensha was a mammalian being with soft fur and large eyes. She spoke quietly. Is it true? About the funding? Rensha, sit down, Quell commanded. Is it true? Rensha asked again, louder. Silence. Nobody denied it. Then the Vellani joined the Terran Coalition. Rensha said, We are done being victims. You would betray your own kind? Vexthar demanded, My kind? Rensha looked at him with disgust. My people were raided twice in the last century. We begged for help. You did nothing. If the council funded those raids, then you're not my kind. You're my enemy. 3 more species stood, their delegates announcing their intention to join the coalition. Then 5 more. Within minutes, a third of the council was in rebellion. This is treason. Quell's light flashed red. All of you will be punished. With what? Taman asked softly. Your fleet? The one we could destroy in 12 minutes? Your trade sanctions? Half your economy just joined our side. Your reputation? You'll be lucky if you survive the investigations into your corruption. Quell turned to the remaining loyal delegates. We will make an example of Earth. Order the fleet to attack. Admiral Taman pressed his communicator. Young Mai, Council fleet status? They're powering weapons, sir. Targeting solutions acquired. They're really going to do it. Taemin looked at Quell. Last chance. Stand down and we leave peacefully. Open fire and we show the galaxy what human warships can do. I will not be threatened by a tributary species. Quell roared. Open fire! On the displays, the Council fleet launched its attack. Plasma weapons lit up space. Missiles streaked toward human ships. The human response was immediate and devastating. Railguns fired, their kinetic rounds moving too fast for energy shields to stop. Council ships exploded. Human fighters swarmed the larger vessels, moving with suicidal aggression. In the chamber, the delegates watched their fleet die. Within 5 minutes, 20 Council ships were destroyed. Within 10, half the fleet was gone. Cease fire, Quell finally screamed. Cease fire. The battle stopped. Burning ships drifted in orbit. The surviving Council vessels retreated, their commanders unwilling to die for pride. Taemin looked at Quell. You had the chance to be our friends. You chose mockery. You laughed at our dead. But here's what you failed to understand about humanity. We remember. We remember every slight, every insult. Every time you turned your back while we suffered. He walked toward the door, his delegation following. The Terran Coalition is open to any species that wants real partnership. As for the Council, you're welcome to continue your games. But if you ever threaten human lives again, we won't come begging for help. We'll come with our fleet. And next time we won't stop until you're ash. They left the chamber. Behind them, the Council dissolved into argument and accusation. The old order was breaking. On the human flagship, Young Mi approached the Admiral. Sir, we're receiving applications to join the Coalition. 14 species so far. More coming every minute. Taemin looked at the planet below, at the chamber where humanity had once begged for mercy. Accept them all. Screen them, train them, arm them. The Council ruled through fear and dependency. We'll build something better. And if the Council attacks again, Taemin smiled grimly, then we finish what they started. The fleet remained in orbit, a reminder to everyone watching. Humanity had stopped asking permission to exist. The galaxy would never be the same.